Hey guys, thanks for joining me. Different room, hopefully better lighting. You know, when we were going through the tariff thing and discussions, I realized a lot of people didn't know what tariffs were, including some of my friends at work. So one day at lunchtime, I gave them a quick 2-minute explanation, and it was enough for them to understand how things worked. Because sometimes you don't need a long, drawn out thing. You just need it short and to the point. Now, me personally, I love 40-minute videos that go extremely in depth on things. But I know a lot of people don't, and a lot of people don't have time for that. So now that we're in the Syria thing, I thought I'd do a video. Now, I want to keep these kind of in a nutshell videos down to 3 or 4 minutes. But I've already blown a minute just explaining it to you. So let's just get on with it. Oh, keep in mind that I'm probably going to murder some names and some words. I'm sorry. And a lot of things have to be left out. So this is where those paragraph people come into play. I won't read them, but somebody in the comment section might want a little more. Let's get on with it.
Every single day, I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day.
All of this started around 1916 with something called the Sykes-Picot Treaty, which basically outlined the boundaries of what would become Syria. And then it was owned by different people ruled it. Just ruled by a lot of folk. The last folk who ruled it was France. But in 1946, France granted Syria its own independence. Okay, so now, of course, they have different leaders. But I believe it was in 1970-71 that the Assad family became the president of Syria. And let me see if I can pronounce his name correctly. It is Hafiz al-Assad, and I'll put the name there, you know, in case I murdered it. But he became the president between 1970 and 71. Now, he started getting ill. He had 2 sons. The oldest son, I believe, was supposed to succeed him when he no longer was able to be president. But unfortunately, that son died in a car accident in 1994. So the younger son had become a doctor, and he was in London studying to be an ophthalmologist. But once his brother died in 1994, then he actually had to come back to Syria because his father was ailing. Now, in 2000, the father died. And Bashir, did I say that right? Bashar, who is the president that we all know of Syria now, became president. And he stayed president until recently he got kicked out. It's been a love-hate thing between President Assad and his people. He was actually a bit of a dick. Okay, there was an incident in 1912 where it said he used chemical weapons against his own people. Now, you know, a lot of people in USA had a problem with that, and they wanted President Obama, you know, to kind of teach the man a lesson, to go in and, you know, take care of some things. But, see, Syria has some powerful friends, okay? One being Russia. The other one being, who is it? Hezbollah. Now, Russia has some shit in Syria's basement for safekeeping. He had an air base and a naval base. And President Obama's like, yeah, I ain't trying to make no mistakes and touch that man's stuff. And now we got a whole big problem. So the USA decided to turn a blind eye to those chemical weapons she used against his people. But as I said, there was a love-hate thing with his people and him. He was a bit of a dick. But he had powerful friends. So whenever his people started getting a little rambunctious, you know, Russia would send in some troops. Hezbollah would come in and go, y'all said what? You know how that goes. But then, well, we know that, Putin got into that war that was supposed to take 3 days and it's taken 3 years. So he kind of busy. And then Hezbollah, well, they were getting their ass kicked by Israel. And so the people who didn't like President Assad said, oh, this is the perfect time. He ain't got no backup. See, this is what happens when you prop up a weak person. Because they can't hold their own no length of time unless you're there helping them. Don't choose the wrong people to give your support to, okay? So no, he couldn't even defend himself, and he couldn't last 10 days, and his friends couldn't come help. So what he do? He leave the country, and he goes to Russia. Now, him and Putin are friends. So, of course, it was the right thing to do to offer President Assad and his family amnesty and safety in Russia. But you better bet that Putin is low-key pissed about his shit that was in the basement that he might not get back. Well, that's it in a nutshell. That's how it felt. See you all in the next video. Take care. Stay blessed. Thanks for joining me. Bye.